Hello,
Hey,
guys.
hey, I think we're live. How's it going,
Affirmative.
friends?
Good.
So, who do we have here? Who's tuning in?
So, Crane, do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, well, I'm Crane. I'm from ChaosDAO. We are supporting Web0 in their mission to create the best sub-0 the community could imagine so far. We're taking a bit care of the ecosystem-related stuff like the agenda, the speakers, sourcing good speakers for all of you guys. So the entertainment on stage will be grand. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, so who do we have here today? So Crane, thanks for introducing yourself. Roman, maybe you want to give a quick intro to yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
I'm Roman. I'm the co-founder of Web0, and very happy to be able to do the Sub0 conference. Always a favorite of mine, and now we got to slap our vision on it a little bit. And we're trying to get a lot of feedback from the community, which is why we selected ChaosDAO to help us, and other communities as well, like Open Guild. And we are working on making this really interesting for the guests, for the ecosystem, and also we'll extend a little bit and invite a bit of a more colorful mix to the table to capture more of a wider attention.
Yeah, awesome. Me, quickly, I'm Sasha. Maybe people that are familiar in Polkadot ecosystem know me from doing a lot of DevRel related activity. And I'm lucky enough to be part of this journey with Web0, spearheading the Polkadot Developer Conference. So I'm going to moderate today. It's going to be a fun one. I'm usually not really in the moderator role in these recent times. I'm more like the guy that shows up and talks about what we're doing. But here I'm going to take the moderator role. How do you guys feel about that?
I think it's great. Thanks for stepping up, Sasha.
Let's do it, right? I used to do this thing, and I think one of the biggest value that we could add here is to fill in the gaps for people that are not familiar with Sub0 and what the intent of the conference is. So let's kick that off. What is Sub0? What are we trying to achieve? What's the goal of all showing up in Bangkok a couple days before DevCon to talk about all the latest and greatest being built in the Polkadot tech stack?
There was some discussion around it. Why are we going back to Bangkok after it already happened earlier this year, right? But a reset is meant in different ways, right? That's why we call it Sub0 reset. So we go back in time, we go to the original vision. And so what do we have to work with here, right? So what we're aiming to achieve is to capture the mind space of the wider developer audience, which will most likely happen around a conference where everybody goes to a certain place anyways, which is Bangkok again, right? So DevCon is one of the most relevant developer conferences in Web3. And since we, Polkadot is created by, the former CTO of Ethereum. So it's good to show this alignment and also to show that we are willing and happy to play with the rest of the folks, and also going into the Jam era where we have, more alignment with Ethereum even. So I think it's very relevant.
Yeah, totally. So I'm gonna just share my screen with the website that we launched. So I think it's relevant because hey, we're trying to do something different. I think that's what's really cool about us showing up in Bangkok and sort of representing the Polkadot tech stack. We've kind of taken the theme of we're all builders in this ecosystem, and Sub0 wants to bridge the gap with the stuff that's being built in the Polkadot ecosystem, but also make it accessible to other people from other ecosystems. I don't know if you want to have anything to comment there, Crane.
I wanted to actually highlight what Sub0 is for the Polkadot ecosystem as well, because we have Decoded, which was this summer in Brussels, which was a great success. I think a lot of connections were forged back then, but there was a bit more retail focus for the everyday man, and Sub0 focused more on the developer, as you just said. It's about the Polkadot tech stack. But the Polkadot SDK or the substrate is not exclusive to the Polkadot ecosystem. Other projects are adopting from other ecosystems, adopting this great tech stack as well. So it's not a Polkadot exclusive event, but for all substrate aficionados, I want to say. So yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about well, let's dive in a little deeper. How are we doing things different for Sub0 in this round?
I think first off, let's talk about the appearance. I mean, I can only compliment the Decenter team for always coming up with cool venues. And we were lucky enough to use their local scout to find like a really cool off location. It's a decommissioned factory right across the Bangkok Times. 15-minute walk from the DEF CON venue, so we are right in the middle of everything. We're even closer to the river, so we could maybe do a boat tour or something cool. But yeah, in general, like this building, this factory building will be, I mean, it's empty, right? There's nothing in there. So everything that we will see during Sub0 is what the team is putting there and how we transform the space. And trust me, it's gonna blow your brains. We are looking forward to painting the whole thing, putting graffiti everywhere, transforming it into a very different world. And we'll have a rooftop oasis. We're like putting sand and grass up there, like for people to chill, have parties. We'll have a tuk-tuk driving around indoors and stuff. So there's going to be a lot of wild shit happening, and interesting things to explore, and great experience for guests because food and drinks are complimentary, as is the entrance.
Like, I mean, I've seen the floor plans, I've seen the layout of the venue. I think, Roman, you were in Bangkok actually a couple of weeks ago, just checking out the venue. Do you want to tell us a little bit about like let's get people excited. Like what's so cool about this venue?
I mean, this venue could be in Berlin, right? It's really like it has this industrial vibe. You know, you see the old freight elevator. All of this is kind of it's a beautiful space to like an open canvas. You know what we can do there. I mean, I saw art showings that they did there a couple of years ago. It looked amazing, so much white space. So it's like really something to paint on, which we will.
And Crane, it looks like, given your background, you're kind of already in Bangkok. How excited are you? What are you most excited about being there and the venue?
I mean, I flew in with Roman, so I just stayed longer because it was so nice. No, I think it's a great opportunity. The last events perhaps you organized were a bit smaller, but they always make the best out of these venues. So I really can't wait, especially with the website. Good friend of us designed the logo as well, so I can't wait to. The website already sets the tone really nicely for what the event venue will bring. I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a different world, and we're doing a lot of fun stuff in there. So of course we're going to have stages, but we will make sure together with Chaos DAO that it's not a completely overloading schedule, so you can experience the rest of the things too. So 2 of these, and it's a lot of different things we're going to do there. Art activations, so you can print your own merch. We love to do these things. We've done it a couple of times before. So more interactive things for guests, right? Where you become part of the process.
So basically for our time today, I wanna dive into the specific developer activities that we're gonna be spearheading, and ways that we're gonna the type of content that we want to be seeing at this conference, and really the things that I mean, Sub0 is a developer conference, so we're really trying to educate, engage, and activate people. So before we go into that, though, it's a little bit of a weird one because both Roman and me are on the Web0 team, and we've spent this whole year doing a lot of events. We've been doing side events at major Web3 conferences with the hypothesis that it's not so much about doing like a very specific event around a specific tech stack. We are really trying to open up to other ecosystems. So we've been doing what we call the block space. If so, some of you were at ECC. We had a block space at a really cool sneakers cafe, and we're trying to change the way that we do these conferences. But so Crane, maybe like you ask us questions like what is it that maybe sticks to you, and how Web0 is doing these events, and then we can go into like what people can expect regarding bridging the gap, being chain agnostic, for instance, and all these things. Ask us questions.
Yeah,
maybe there's some questions from the audience also. Yeah.
I just want to basically you mentioned the block space and Brussels was activated there with the sneaker store. I really want to. Could you please highlight how you find these nice venues? Because I mean, the block space was amazing in this old building, and
maybe scouting, having access. Yeah. I mean, no, it's not just our secret, right? Like Decenters has also a good network there, which we are using here in Bangkok. Can't stress that enough how much of a help that is. So what we are always looking for is, so I mean, let's start somewhere else actually to answer this question properly. So we see events not from a normal event producer's perspective at Web0, because it's more like a collective, and we do whatever we feel comfortable with achieving. So that means we are working with our own chef, our own F&B team, also throughout the year. So Chef Daniel Forbes, he's Australian great chef. He 15-year veteran in the kitchen, runs amazing catering. And so while most event organizers would just book somebody for catering, we insource this stuff, and we are doing it again. So for us, it's always like an extra layer of complication, because we seek out to find venues where we can do everything basically, right? So we can run the whole kitchen, the whole bar, everything, which saves a lot of money, and it also allows us to do cooler things. And so, this is always what we look for, and something cool where we can either we have a set that's already like super interesting, or we even build sets, like we did an event during Berlin Blockchain Week where we had we booked a cafe and for a couple of days, and we had this whole front entrance part completely changed with a set design to look like a bodega, like a Berlin Späti. So even the locals that know this cafe, they were shocked, to see, like, they thought they left, and now it's like just a Späti or something. So it's always like we want to have something that people remember, right?
In Berlin, I think we made the charts for hosting an event in a place that's been running for 20 years. And for the first time, we got the cops called on us because it was so busy. That was a good problem to have, I guess. Roman, I remember you very elegantly using your high German sort of crisis aversion on that.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of talking to the cops for 30 minutes. But
Hopefully we don't have
almost
this problem
been through everything. Yeah. No, I mean, Bangkok should be fine. I mean, the police is informed that we're doing an event there. So, we will do some parties as well. And we do a 24-hour hackerspace, which, also has F&B. So basically, this thing never stops, which is also going to be interesting. I hope we don't get raided. Could still happen.
So basically, I don't want to say problem, but a big task is always to get external people to these events, obviously. Yeah. So can you maybe tell us something about how you're tackling that problem?
Yeah, so one thing I did in Bangkok was meet local community people, right? So so that they invite their friends. And so we are activating a lot of local network, also to get students to attend, might even book a bus and ship them there. I don't care, from the best IT universities. I mean, we really want this to be a very inclusive space that also is, open for locals and expats who live in Thailand. I mean, we should leave an impression and have leave people with something actionable, right? So if we only attract the usual crowd, this wouldn't be successful. in my eyes. So our goal is really to get as many people to attend as we can from aligned ecosystems, let's say, that can actually do something with this stack.
Yeah, I can comment on this too. I mean, one of the things at Web0, when we think about hosting block space, these block space events, for those that maybe are new to who we are, like Web0. And by the way, it's such an honor that we actually got selected by the community to run sub0.
Yeah.
We can talk about that just after this point that I'm going to make, but it's like we really are trying to target the people that are maybe new to Web3, new to the Polkadot tech stack, to attend sub0. We really are going to be catering to these audiences because, like, just look at the demographics of like the talent, the people that are coming out of university that want to learn about Web3, and we believe that we're basically doing our best to cater to these audiences. So specifically, like Roman mentioned, local communities, universities in the in the Southeast Asia area, and I think the opportunity is there. I mean, if you look at the Web3 users and developers on the global map, most of them are North America and Europe, and there's a hot spot in the India and Southeast Asia area. However, we want to make it hotter, right? Like, we want to activate more people there, and I think by positioning sub0, we have a big opportunity there. So specifically catering to these communities, universities, but I'm especially bullish on all of these small businesses that are
bigger ones. We were also gonna we'll invite the biggest exchange in Thailand to also join, like people who, of course, they list dot, which is good alignment already. So
yeah, Roman has the more business. Like me, it's more like for the builders, like sustainability stuff, for instance. Like I want to see builders that have a really good business model that might be curious about adopting some Web3 solutions. We're talking about trustlessness. We're talking about empowering businesses with this technology. So I'm really hoping to see more of that, and our space will be catered to answering questions for these people, educating them, and having really cool workshops and talks highlighting things. So
that's
yeah, very,
how you
very
plan
excited.
to activate people to build on Substrap?
So like now, like let's get to the meat and potatoes. Yeah. So how are we tackling this, and how are we going to make things different? I think in general the issues with hosting these Web3 conferences is that we're too obsessed about just evangelizing just the technology and saying our technology is better than other technology. That's not the case here. It's like, Substrate is an amazing framework that is actually not only powering Polkadot, it's actually powering other L1s that are completely independent from Polkadot. Some examples is Avail, and there's some others that maybe Crane you can comment on, but so positioning the technology as a means to an end is really what we're trying to evangelize. So you can expect a lot of workshops. You can expect one-on-one like educational things, actual like hack this and then get a reward type activities. We're really gonna try to make things different. But
I think Roman, that's the cool part about the space. We have 5 different levels to play content on. So we'll have a big hall. We'll have one floor for media and press, also to produce content from there, and so to make them really feel welcome. And then we'll have a second stage across the whole building, which will be more aimed at topics. Like we will make sure that the main stage downstairs and the second stage upstairs are offering a good variety of topics. So you can find your content as the veteran developer that just looks for something really, really cool to solve a big problem, which Substrate definitely offers. And we'll make sure it shows. And then you have the second stage where we can get more like maybe beginners topics or like things that are a little bit beyond that scope of the main stage. And yeah, then we have the block space. So we're building what we've done at conferences all over the year, basically at international events. We'll do that on the floor above the second stage. And it'll be a place for builders. It will have food and beverage, and it will be really welcoming and interesting. So there's a couple different activations on that floor too that Sasha is working on with the team. Things that you can enjoy as a small group or individual that to get excited about things. And then above we have a floor with also quite a lot of space where we will have booths and activations. But also, I think 5 different rooms that we can lock. So there we can do like in-depth workshops or stuff like that, where you just sit with like 10 people.
You mentioned what does it take to participate in the conference, Roman? Like, is it free? Do you need to pay? What do you?
No, we make it free. I'm personally, I think we can make it work with the budget from the treasury. It's a lower one than before, but we really try to be super efficient. So we'll cover the cost, and we're now starting to attract some, let's say, partners that can also contribute to the bill. So we can offer slightly more than we already scoped out, and also send some money back to the treasury to show kind of like how we see these events working out in the next years, be more cost efficient, be more collaborative, ask partners to contribute to an event like that they also can be proud of. So there's a lot that goes into it. Yeah.
A few terms you're using, Roman, I think it's a good opportunity to talk about, like, like what brings us here today, like, and how did we get selected to do that? Like, I want to maybe bridge the gap for people that are new, like, you mentioned the word treasury. We have a Chaos DAO member here. Let's talk a little bit about
talk about the
amazing
DAO.
DAO, right? Like, hey, like all these Web3 communities are like, hey, like, DAO this, DAO that, but Polkadot is the biggest DAO, and literally Web0 is getting funded by the Polkadot community. How cool is that? Like, let's make sure that we kind of explain like I'm 5 to people that are new. Maybe Crane, you want to take this one?
Polkadot has a concept which is called OpenGov, where basically it's permissionless and everyone can propose a proposal to get not necessarily funded, but change stuff, even one-time upgrades, to the Polkadot DAO through OpenGov. Oftentimes it will be
upgrades. What's a runtime upgrade?
Okay, we stay with the funding things. Okay. That means as well that Web0 can come forward and propose to do the sub0 reset, and with a budget and a good plan, they will post that proposal to the OpenGov, where the dot token holders can vote on it. One dot is one vote, basically, and you can do it with a bit more conviction. You can give your vote a bit more bang. But yeah, so and you guys put in such a good proposal that the Polkadot DAO or the token holders decided that it's worthwhile to fund you guys your proposal. So that's where we are basically here, because you got from the biggest DAO in the world, you got your idea greenlighted to fulfill it and to make it a reality.
I'm going to share my screen so that people can see what we're talking about here. So yeah, like this is literally what we're like. There's this mega DAO. Roman summoned me. Huh? Is this
100% A is not too bad for OpenGov.
Holy, that looks like we've
92 million dot in favor. It's 100% A.
So let's
super
talk, like,
stoked and humbled by this result. Yeah,
must be a good proposal.
Roman summoned me some months ago and said, "Hey, we're gonna try to do this. Let's see what happens." And I'm just sharing this because I think it's a really cool thing that differentiates like the Polkadot ecosystem and the builders here with other ecosystems, where literally like we're like, we want to do this. We care about developers. Web0 is not just an events team. We're doing developer relations. We also hosted the hackathon at the Web3 Summit most recently. And we have a little bit to behind our belts, let's say, and the Polkadot community basically said, let's give it to Web0. So yeah, just sharing here, and this proposal is basically saying what like it outlines the whole strategy and stuff, and also
what I wanted to say, Sasha, for people that are not super familiar with the process, so there's a forum where you basically post your idea, and then it goes into discussions before you should post a proposal, because I mean, there's the whole budget is in there. People should take a look and call out things that they don't like, or things that are a waste of money or whatever. So you basically do this phase of exploration with the community and active dot holders to see if the proposal is kind of in order, if it makes sense like this. And then you go forward and let people vote. And then there's also a discussion around it. So people can also say, hey, I vote yes because I like this part about it, or I vote no because I don't think this is going to work. And so it can become quite messy sometimes if it's a polarizing proposal. So we've seen everything. There's like, it's quite the drama sometimes. But in this case, it was all love, from the community. So we are super stoked about it. And yeah, I mean, like Sasha said, we've kind of changed direction at the end of last year, with Web0 being quite a new company in the ecosystem or in general, and made sure we have the best and brightest from Parity joining our team. So now we have 3 really cool, super seasoned and experienced developers that come straight from the hot press of Substrate, right? The Polkadot SDK environment where that's born. So which gives us, as Web0, a lot of extra abilities, right? So event production, making a venue look cool, all of that stuff. I mean, that's one part, right? But we want to get we want to make an impact where we think we can actually contribute in a positive way, which is developers. We think that's the right thing that Polkadot needs. More people building on the stack, building startups, because we don't want to become the next meme chain or whatever, right? So Polkadot is for advanced developers. I mean, we could make it easier for beginners. That's what we're also working on. And so everything that we do now represents this mission and pushes it forward.
I think a good start.
If you're new. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Crane. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so it's a good start is basically what you tackled the topic 5 minutes ago, that such a conference like sub0 is happening, which is free of charge, where people can just come and experience the Substrate culture and everything.
Should be welcoming, right?
Briefly want to mention Carol Stow for participation in that regard, that we basically help you guys with the ecosystem navigation.
What's Chaos Stow? Let's just start.
Okay, Chaos Stow is basically a DAO of good faith ecosystem agents who are very involved in the Polkadot ecosystem, and who are like, the goal is basically to get everyone who's competent, who's who wants to do stuff on the ecosystem to get in here and have like the biggest DAO with the most engaged members ever. That would be the ideal version, I would say. And so
it's a little confusing.
Chaos DAO is Chaos DAO is amazing. I mean, it's a great group. It's absolutely a negative force in the ecosystem. I love it. It's a lot of edgy, opinionated people that essentially want the best for the network, and sometimes they have a very direct way of saying that, and also voting the way they talk. And I appreciate the straightness and the no bullshit attitude. And this is also what we at Web0 like and stand for. So, I mean, a little bit less edgy maybe, but you know what I mean.
So we have people tuning in from LinkedIn, Twitter, and I believe YouTube. And I want to note for like maybe new viewers that are new to Polkadot, basically every dot holder can contribute to the outcomes of how things are being spent by the treasury. So we have there's a big treasury on Polkadot. There's there's money that can be spent on a rolling basis. And then, as a dot holder myself, I can vote on things by myself, but I don't have that much I actually don't have that much dot to be voting on a whole bunch of things, right? So you have entities that are collectives that are basically DAOs within the DAO, if that makes sense. And Chaos DAO is one of them. And Chaos DAO is, I did this because it's true. I mean, you mentioned, Roman, like you said, negatively rebalancing.
It's just, I'm just quoting a recent
It's a meme.
Twitter
Oh, it's a
outrage.
meme.
Yeah.
I
don't think that's true at all.
Yeah.
But we are all entitled to our opinions, right? I mean,
Listen,
Chaos,
it's like,
Chaos DAO would name me relentlessly. I would also probably talk like this. No,
I mean, it's important that there is counter opinions. It's important that like there is people revising all of these proposals that are coming through OpenGov with a little bit of a critical eye. Like, hey, this budget doesn't make sense. Hey, maybe we should just double tap in this, because OpenGov is a permissionless system where anyone can propose something. So I think Chaos DAO has been doing a really good job at a little bit. I don't want to put words in your mouth, Crane, on behalf of the Chaos DAO crew, but tempering opinions in a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. To add something where you said, basically, if you're a DOT token holder, but you cannot keep up with OpenGov, because in high phases, it was, I think in July, it was 3 to 4 proposals per day coming in. And these proposals are like very long sometimes. There are groups, Chaos DAO is one of them, who will receive delegations. You can delegate your voting power to Chaos DAO, and they will vote in your name, basically. So if you just like how a group votes, you can delegate your dot to them, and they will take care of that. So your voice, basically, or your voting power will get heard in the ecosystem, in the open.
And also, like Web3 Foundation did the same, right? They added you to the decentralized voices. So Chaos DAO got an extra allocation of locked dot to vote with by the Web3 Foundation. So from the network, basically, to give that decision-making group more voting power, which I think it's it shows what's possible with delegation. It shows what's possible with proof of stake, right? Networks like Polkadot, where you can really build governance systems that then essentially control the whole network, right? Even upgrades and not just treasury spending, you know.
I think you go.
Why is Chaos DAO a really good entity that we chose, Roman, to help us get the best speakers and fill up the main stage schedule? So why is Chaos DAO a good pick? Let's talk about it.
I'll do a quick intro, but I think that's Crane's question, to be honest, to answer. From my point of view, briefly, so Chaos DAO is a collective of a lot of people, right? Not everybody is super active in governance, but they have other expertise. So they're like really entrenched in the ecosystem. So they know every player in the ecosystem, right? Like people like Limo that work on Nova Wallet, right? Nova Wallet knows freaking everyone. I saw the list that he made. I'm like, I don't even know all of these projects, and I should. You know, it's quite embarrassing, to be honest. But that shows just like this deep understanding of the substrate ecosystem and Polkadot ecosystem. That's something that we wanted, and also like, this radar, like this sensor, like the pre-selection, like, okay, we know the speaker, this project is really, it's good, has good fundamentals, and some others might not, right? Let's be honest here. But Crane, let's hear more about Chaos DAO.
I think you laid a very good foundation, basically. Chaos DAO is a collective where we've engaged ecosystem agents. That means that if I am not informed, there will be someone who is informed. So basically, Chaos DAO knows almost all about the ecosystem, just because it's such a broad and diverse group. So who can be a better pick than this DAO, than Chaos DAO, to decide what is hot right now, who's a good speaker, who is engaged, who can fill out good spots. If you decide on a topic, we have like a selection of active and engaged builders who want to speak, and I'm sure if I don't know them, someone else will know them in Chaos DAO and can get easy access to them. And you don't write basically to hello@emails.
Right.
So
I mean, I have a good mix, like some devs, you know, that really know the code base, that really know the projects from that technical perspective, which is super important for a conference like sub0, right? So Yeah, and that's a great help for us, because otherwise it would just be Sasha and our developer team being like absolutely overloaded, because we already have a big mission to basically fill it up with more people outside of the ecosystem as well, right? And yeah, it's good to have a solid base on Polkadot and Substrate here.
I was very pleasantly surprised at the tremendous list of people that were outreaching to come speak, to come and be a part of the hackerspace that we're hosting. And I want to just highlight in particular, there's a tremendous amount of really, really great projects that are building on the bleeding edge of decentralized technologies in the list of the grantees from the Web3 Foundation. I think there's a really good list of things that are either building on Substrate, building different tools for interacting with Substrate-based blockchains. Maybe you want to comment on that, Crane, like some highlights from the Web3 Foundation grants projects that we might be interested in highlighting here.
For sub0, I think there are
so specifically the list that Limo shared. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool things.
You mean the really long one? Yeah. I think it's mostly very basically focusing on the parachains who are like on the cutting edge of releasing stuff with hydration, for example, or Hyperbridge, which are like one of my two favorite projects right now, who are doing like these. And Hyperbridge is a trustless bridge, and Hydration is these all-in-one DeFi shop. Yeah, but as you said, for decentralized futures, there are really new projects as well who have like great ideas and coming from, by the way, what can be chill here as well, like the Polkadot Blockchain Academy as well. We Polkadot is teaching their own future developers in the Polkadot Blockchain Academy, and then they are getting grants and funds from the ecosystem. Funds, and then they release hopefully good projects in the future, and I'm working on that actively, so they can be great speakers at sub0 as well if they come with great ideas around. So I think the shortlist we have so far is already really, really juicy, and I'm really looking forward to when the announcements start coming up, because there are always some really nice bangers on there.
And Crane, a question to you: like, imagine you're new to Polkadot and you've arrived a couple days earlier to attend DevCon in Bangkok. What would be in it for you to come to the sub0 reset?
I mean, if I would be a developer or interested in that, it's obviously amazing to go there. You have so many ecosystem veterans who are just very open to everyone. It's a very friendly atmosphere. You can look at these nice talks. You see so many exhibitions and projects out there showing their goods, I want to say, their stack and everything, while you can just look at the hottest stuff on the Substrate tech. Also, there's the open bar, I heard, so that's good too.
That might
open
be the case,
gov,
yeah.
open bar, open dev.
I mean, yeah, we have a couple like minimum requirements for our events always, like free food and drinks. Nobody should be hungry or thirsty.
Can we call it permissionless bar?
Well, we do. We might take permission away if somebody had too much.
Okay. It's fine.
One of the ideas that I tried to push at one of our block space events is the idea of opening up sort of an open source recipe for cocktails. So we can make it kind of permissionless. You can pitch your own cocktail and then ask the bartender to
cocktails on
OpenGov needs to vote on it before we release it.
True. Yeah. We need to fast track that one, probably, Crane, huh?
No. It's a 4-week track. Can't do anything about it.
But hey, really, there is a question in the chat. I'm a developer and I would like to build on Polkadot. Where to start? sub0 is really we want to cater to you guys. Like, we want to cater to the people that are new to the Polkadot tech stack and make it accessible. That's a really, for me, that's the theme here is we're opening up the world of opportunities in the Polkadot ecosystem to people that are new to it. And I want to note that why are we talking about Substrate and not just the focus is Substrate, not so much Polkadot. it is a Polkadot developer conference, but the reason that we're going even below the just talking about Polkadot is because Substrate is an incredibly powerful framework to build and launch your decentralized applications at scale. Substrate is a modular blockchain SDK, and what I'm hoping to see is people that are curious about building on Substrate, and if we do our job correctly, they're going to be building in the ecosystem. So very, very, very bullish on making it as inviting as possible. I think a big shortcoming in the previous iterations of the conference has been somewhat a little bit not so accessible. The technology is very complex, and what we want to try to do is make it fun, make it engaging. One of the ideas the hackerspace that we're hosting is going to be, you can think of it like a fun fair a little bit, right, Roman? Like a lot of cool fun activities.
We'll have a disco tuk-tuk in the middle of the room and stuff like that. It's gonna be an interesting spot. We'll have a bar, we have food there, places to work, a little corners where you can work in groups or chill in a lounge and just have discussions. And we want to make it a really interactive and creative space as well, right? So we want people to have a good time there. That's why it's never going to close, right? If somebody wants to build through the night, let them build through the night. Coffee machines are going to be running, right? And so we want people to feel the energy, right? We want to make it like the place, that's our goal with every block space, really make it like so sticky, it's so comfortable. Why would you ever go, right? So, put it in the middle of everything so you can come back if you see another event is not as fun. So that's what we always go for.
And the conference itself, like one thing that I think we've learned with the Web0 team, the value of the in-person events is just tenfold, right? And it's about networking. It's about, if you're a founder or you're an aspiring founder, then you can meet people that will maybe support in funding your business. If you're just a developer curious about what the heck is all this Substrate stuff about, and you've been cutting your teeth in the EVM world only, this is an opportunity for you. Like I think that we should note that the blockchain space is expanding its scope, where it's not so much about specific tech stack. It's about like, it's multi-chain, and Substrate is probably the most powerful SDK that you could adopt, learn, and potentially integrate. But at least sub0 will be the place where you can learn about those opportunities. So very, very, very excited about that. So yeah, specific things like I will highlight. And by the way, we got 15 minutes left or so. I see there's some people in the chat. There's some people tuning in from YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. Feel free to just drop some questions in the chat. We're here to answer them. So if there's any questions about sub0, what it is we're achieving, what to expect, how to get there, any of your questions, please drop them in the chat. And I wanted to share that it's 3 days, right?
Yeah.
So day one,
it's a lot of time to spend there.
It's a lot of time to spend there, but hey, also, if you want to co-work, if you want to just have a quiet space to go and work on your project before the madness of DevCon, which is happening the days that follow. When is DevCon again? It's the 14th, right, onwards.
No, it starts on the 12th. So we are going from the 9th to the 11th. So we have 2 days, like sub0 was always 2 days, which we will keep. And then we add an extra day for topics like Jam and to go deeper into this new field that Gav opened up, where a lot of people are working on this 10 million bounty to do different Jam implementations. And we want to give that a stage too, but it's kind of like sort of a separate thing, right? It's going to use the relay chain, but it's still like the whole system includes now different stacks, right? It's completely multi-stack. So it's kind of a different animal than Substrate in this case, right? Substrate is just one of the languages. That's it. So
yeah. So so basically on the third day, we're we are going to be highlighting jams. So anyone interested in like participating, learning about jam, we're going to try to break it down for people. We're going to try to do some cool activities that like teach people about jam, which is this kind of it's a new paradigm of thinking of decentralized systems that is kind of being pulled out of the Polkadot world. So that's something to expect on the third day. On the first and second day, I can just share that again, we're trying to make this as accessible as possible. So throughout the conference, we're doing activities that are educating people, helping them engage and connect with other people in the ecosystem. But potentially, we will have a booth about all of the bounties of OpenGov. We'll have places for people to learn about the different education opportunities. Polkadot Blockchain Academy will be there. They will be really eager to meet you if you're someone who's just looking for continuing your education in Web3. Polkadot Blockchain Academy is where to go. And we're also partnering with local communities and universities that will also help you in your journey learning about decentralized technology. So Substrate being what we're onboarding you guys to. So very like I just want to highlight day one, expect things on developer relations, education, and all of the sort of onboarding stuff. And day two, we'll dive in deeper on some specific Substrate topics. Anything else to add, Crane, from the agenda side? Maybe I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm just trying to fill in the gaps here. Maybe there's no questions about anything.
We're good on the agenda. I'm pretty excited to come. No, can you tell me where I can sign up for that though?
Yeah, so
Roman,
sub0.gg is our domain. We kept it very short. So also find us on Twitter and Telegram under Join Web0. Very easy to spot. We'll update there and announce speakers and topics, and like Sasha already scratched on it, but we'll have like a multitude, like a lot of different things you can experience there, and dive deeper and have a lot of fun with the folks, connect to new people. It's not going to be all business, right, and development. There's a lot of space to just hang out and connect with people, which I think is why we're all there. We don't just want the knowledge, we also want the connections, and it's a great place to do that. And we are very happy to see you all. And I think we can end it on a high note and be very, can't wait for it. Love Bangkok.
So sign up,
vibe.
sub0.gg, book your tickets to attend. If you're going to Bangkok for DevCon, come a few days earlier. This is gonna be really fun. Like we're gonna make it fun for you guys. And the theme is educate. Like we're gonna have activities where hopefully you're gonna have some fun memories in Bangkok. So really, really excited to host you guys. And on that note, I guess anything else to add, guys?
No, I think we covered almost every aspect.
Super cool. Okay, well, we'll see you guys in Bangkok. Crane, you're already there, huh?
Of course, never left.
All right, guys. Well, cheers. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned in. And make sure that you check out our website, and there is a Telegram chat where you can ask any questions about Sub0 by joining the Join Web0 Telegram chat. So thank you very much for everyone who tuned in, and have a great day.